What's up, guys?
Masterclass.
With the masterclass. Hey, I'm sitting here. I'll introduce us. Hey, I'm sitting here with Hope Ayiyi.
And I'm sitting here with Jack motherfucking Cook. Don't forget the motherfucking.
That's my middle name. I heard it's German.
Yeah. Overseas for sure.
Yeah. You know what I used to tell people is like my middle name was Mihoff.
Mihoff?
It's German, yeah.
I think I heard of that.
Yeah. You say it out. Say it.
Mihoff.
Say the whole name.
Jack Mihoff Cook.
Jack Mihoff. I'm just not going down. Got him.
Got me on that one.
No.
That's
Hey,
a fucking teenager.
I got that on. I got that on camera, guys. Like I said. Hope. I'm glad I'm sitting with you. I just want to say we got the realist. It's a lot different than being interviewed with a person because this is my partner, man. This motherfucker is like making a lot of movies with me since I was real young in the business. And man. I remember. Hey, I want to tell one story that I can get out. I told a million people this, but you've heard it a million times, but I love it. So I met Hope. I don't know what on set. Hope said it before. That background all blends together. I did probably hundreds. I don't know what set we met on, but
it was like a period piece or something. We were definitely in some like 70s get up or something
man,
like that.
Hey,
you and Chip Mitter and everybody was all
dope as hell. Yeah,
like
you look all hippied out. Yeah,
I was like, oh shit, who is this guy?
You said it earlier. That I want to express on that is like I really loved being on set because you learn the pace of a film. That's one of and you learn how to use all the big equipment if you really watch, and and it was. And you really talked about that, and I was really related because that's what I did too, and that's probably why we get along. And I met a lot of my friends, from DPs and costume directors I was even doing background, but I was a real person, and I'm into filmmaking, and they're like the biggest in the business. But
exactly.
They just want to make a friend, and we've ended up making movies together. But really taught me the pace of a film. There's a lot of people who come out of film school, Hope, and they don't understand the pace of a film. Yeah. I think, and really working with like high quality people.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the key, right? Is really just learning the pace of the film, learning like what you're doing, and ultimately taking that L and flipping it into a lesson. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like it doesn't have to be the most perfect project, and me and Jack, we're perfectionists. Shout out to the perfectionist hairstylist.
There you go. Yeah, no, and it hurts when you. But that's the only way you learn, man. Like, that's very well said by you because taking that L and flipping it into a learning lesson, and that is the only way I could have made The Private Eye. The Private Eye was not our first movie. To continue on the story how I met Hope, I was making this movie with the Ohio boys, and it was called Pocket Full of Bullets, and I wanted to cast you as this role. You were
Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny, and a pocket full of bullets. But that movie never got finished because nobody gave me a chance the way I wanted it. I came out here as an actor, and everybody was offering me opportunities where it was like, are you saying one line and stuff? And I came out here to make a movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
this really is the land where people will sell you some dreams.
Yeah.
They try to sell you it all.
Yeah.
And then you arrive, and it's like, all right, you get a little one-liner, and you're grateful for what you got, but it's like, damn, you painted this whole picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I learned how to make my own opportunities, and everybody says make their own luck, and really what luck is, all it is. What I found out is patience. I believe a lot of people are afraid to take chances because in a way you don't believe in luck. They don't believe in luck because what luck is in my mind right now is preparation with timing, because if you really take a chance on yourself, whatever it is, like us making a movie and we go all the way, there's a lot of people that just dip their toes and try to make videos and try to dip their toes in the water. They don't want to get too forward. But if where I was in my mind is I was going all the way, and nobody was going to stop me. So I did start as an actor, but I fell in love with directing, and I think I'm a better director than actor.
Oh, that's facts.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty dope that, it was kind of like it was meant for me and you to link, because we ended up finding out that we lived around the corner from each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I would literally be able to walk to your house like every other day, and we just pitch each other projects, and that's one of the ways the Private Eye even came into fruition. Like you told me, you was working on this project for several years, and at the time. Julia Roberts, you had
it was
ideas for
David Duchovny and
David
Julia
Duchovny
Roberts.
from
I was going for it. Yeah.
Californication.
I needed $20 million, and I was going to kill it.
Yeah, and I was just like, like I love the idea. That's one thing I love about Jack is he always has these big creative ideas, and at first you're like, he's crazy. Like there's no way.
I'll take it.
But then the second time you revisit it, you're like, wait, no, actually. He's a genius.
Wow.
Like that's
thank you.
That's logically that makes sense. You know what I mean? So then we ended up shooting a project called Shootouts, and it was dope. And we're saving it. Right now it's a proof of concept, but we are gonna revisit it because that's something that we wanna. That was a passion project, just like The Private Eye.
Yeah.
That was like a film school for us.
That was to continue how I met you. So after a Pocket Full of Bullets, you were trying to get a hold of me for a long time, and I wasn't taking no calls. I had a baby, and I was just like, oh no, I didn't want to mess with anybody because I was deep in the Pocket Full of Bullets editing, and it wasn't working out. and then I ran into you. You ran into me. On Lancashire and Magnolia.
Yeah.
And you were like, Jack, I've got these 4 projects. I want you to direct one of them, and I think it would be really great. I've got some investors, blah, blah, blah. And you told me like the concept of the 4 projects, and I was like, I want the music one.
I want the hip-hop one.
Yeah, the hip-hop one. And I loved it, man, and we made that fucking happen.
Yeah, and that one, briefly, that hip-hop one, Shootouts, that concept, it was so dope because that's what was going on at the time. It was pretty much hip hop. They were and we're joined by Mark.
Doc will just do
My
that
favorite,
sometimes.
my favorite writer producer, my favorite director producer.
Does that?
I hope you guys don't mind.
No, you're fucking kidding me.
Because I figured I could sit here and since I'm kind of new in this business. Only
Yeah,
20 years under my belt, but on the other end of it,
Yeah.
I figured I could listen to you guys and
Definitely, sit in.
100%.
So please.
Yeah,
go on,
so that project Shootouts, that was what was really going on. That was hip hop artists, and it was pretty much about how hip hop was influencing the youth to become drug addicts, to become violent, to become misogynistic, all of these things, toxic masculinity, all these buzzwords that we love to use and identify with right now. This was back in 2017. I was going to all the hip-hop festivals, Rolling Louds, the Day and Nights, the Coachellas.
No, Hope, you called it out, even like rappers wearing bags.
The side bags to people popping perks and Xanax and just it becoming a whole lifestyle.
This was before that whole lifestyle blew up.
Yeah, I mean, even in the dialogue, some of the characters are saying, oh, yeah, like Future, 56 Xans, you know what I mean? Like 56 nights. And the next character is like, yo, they don't even take drugs like that. And Future came out not too long ago and said, I don't
he doesn't
really
do that.
drugs
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So,
no, because that was the whole point of the to like expose the realness, and I think it's even more than hip hop. That's how you see it. It's the entertainment industry, I believe. And like, I heard a quote. It was from oh man, I gotta say her name. Erykah Badu, and it was the most beautiful quote. She said there's 3 types of artists. She said there's the ones that mimic, there's the ones that do what everybody likes, and they don't last long. All right, there's the ones that mimic others, and they make the most money, but they want to be like the third artist, which is the artist that just does it for the art.
Yeah.
Sorry, Erica, if I didn't say that correctly, but I really love
man.
it. Oh no, and I loved it. But on this note, so the whole the story was about that. But something that we talked about earlier, which I love, is we learned a lesson. We took an L and we flipped it into a learning experience because Hope and I, at the time, everybody wanted a pilot. And we made a really dope experience to pitch. We made it, and the movie's great. And we had this similar experience to this new one on like finding talent. But I want to get into the finding talent part of Shootouts. But before that, we didn't like doing pilots after we shot this because you go into you finish a pilot, you spend a lot of money, and then you got to go to somebody and say, hey, I need, like, more,
I need
9
more money.
times more than this that you gave me, and to make a whole series. And
Yeah.
that's what it's one of the reasons why I really fell in love. Besides, like, I love movies, and I think that's my favorite art form. But I really fell in love with movies for the business matter of that's a finished product, and you can actually, it's tangible. I would love to have a TV show blow up on somewhere and live for 9 seasons, and
I
get
think that's
paid.
the lesson we learned is, going back to the business of this whole entertainment industry, if you have a finished feature film, that's sellable. If you go in and you shoot a pilot, now you're going to be grasping at straws trying to pitch it to every single company who they're already getting pitches. They already have so many green lights they got their first look deals, but they're not really worried about you. And you have a proof of concept now, but now you need millions and millions of more dollars just to go into development.
Yeah.
Technically, you're in development hell. You know what I mean? You might
Unless
as well.
it's already
So-
set up before.
So even learning that, I was like, okay, moving forward, we won't shoot any pilots unless there's a bag for it. But what we'll do is
a sizzle.
or even if it's not a sizzle, we'll just do a short. It's that simple. We'll do a short. We'll submit it to Sundance, whatever we got to do.
You can win an Oscar for a short film.
A short. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Wes Anderson has shorts on Netflix right now, and it was phenomenal. He killed it. I mean, what he's able to do with limit and just his creativity is crazy. It had to be one location, and they're just changing the background like it's a play. You know what I mean? But that's a short. That's something that you can still sell.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You can submit it versus a pilot. Where
And
you need
finding
more
new
money.
ways. I think something that you and we're all really good at is finding new ways to do it. I think too many people, we always talk about trends. Too many people follow the way that other people do it, and we're like, oh, how can we sell shorts? You remember, anyway. It's really great. I definitely want to talk about, too, Hope, about what Elie Kazan says. Elie Kazan says, I forget, it's like 98% of making a film is casting.
Yeah.
And I think we have we're known for making really great casting moves.
That's one of my favorite parts, getting into pre-production is the casting because, I think it's bittersweet. We only have so many roles, but we have so many friends that are talented, you know what I mean? And you want to put them in everything, but there's only so many roles you can do. So that was, going back to The Private Eye, when we were able to write additional scenes for Jay Reeves and Elijah Booth.
Yeah.
It was so invigorating because
Created
it's like,
opportunity.
all right, we got more friends in here now. You know what I mean? Like we got looks that we can give people, and that's what this is really about.
And dude, I really love the bringing people together aspect of it all because it is a group thing,
Yeah, I mean, and then sorry we're jumping back and forth.
I know, but casting though, the first Shootouts, man. I'll never forget the casting process, and the lead female was one of my favorite casting process. But I also loved what happened with Jay Reeves too. Jay Reeves was supposed to be in Shootouts, and we got. Derek King, Derek King is a phenomenal actor, and he blew up. And then the lead female, we casted KJ. I loved that process because we wanted somebody, we met with them, and it just didn't vibe. And we were like, oh, KJ, I was like, that was my choice. I remember, and I was like, dude, because you showed me her, because she did Queen Sugar. I think she did 3 episodes of Queen Sugar, some films. Maybe short films, and you're like, Jack, check it out. And I was like, man, that's the one. And then we went, so we called her up, her manager, and she was available to do it. But the reason why I'm so excited to work with her, she was so phenomenal at acting, and after we worked with her, she continued her acting career and blew up with Tyler Perry, Medea's Funeral.
Yeah,
and now she's the lead actor on Sisters.
Yeah, I think just to watch her whole trajectory was dope. I mean, even being able to put her in Shootouts as the lead woman, the love interest, and then pairing her with upcoming actors like Sydney Graham and Stacey Hash.
Oh, my
It
God.
was so fire. They were able
Yeah.
to look at her, and it was just greatness all around.
Yeah.
You know?
No, they made it too. I mean, everybody that we work with is respectable.
Brandon Brown. I mean, come on.
Brandon Brown
You've
is
seen him on billboards,
no,
literally.
he is killing. Brandon Brown's billboards, commercials, and his art is phenomenal. I want to buy a Brandon Brown piece. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Brandon, man. Hey, I definitely want to buy one of your pieces.
Shout out to the bros. Shout
brother.
out to Brandon. Shout out to Derek. Man,
Derek.
shout out to everybody from that project.
Seriously, Justice Singleton.
And Justice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Justice.
Justice
Singleton,
Singleton,
man.
man.
We love you.
We love you.
We got to come back to LA. We got to do another film.
Yes, yes.
But I want to pivot back to The Private Eye.
Yeah.
We was able to do something similar. We were able to put friends in this project.
Well, it's everything we learned because we did these projects and we took those L's and flipped them to learning experiences, and this was like our first way that we're doing it right, and we knew what would happen. We didn't give up.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing is everybody gives up.
You can't give up. You just learn. Like, you don't have to put everything out. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, some things I learned, especially with Jack, projects that we've written is kind of ahead of its time. Because even for Shootouts, what we was writing, it was essentially Euphoria. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we shot that in 2017, and then Euphoria comes out 2018 or 2019, maybe even 2020.
Yeah.
But like what we were essentially writing was a Euphoria for the hood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? These are why these characters in the hood are off drugs and just off the shits and just wilding out here and living life like to the fullest, and they're just in the moment, not worried about tomorrow. It's essentially like what Euphoria did. You know what I mean? We had the same cinematics and visuals that Atlanta did, but those shows weren't out when we were filming. You know what I mean? So we were so ahead of our time that when we started to pitch, people were like,
they didn't understand.
they really didn't understand the concept.
They don't understand what we're doing right now.
Brandon Brown, in one scene, he's waking up and he's starting to pour up lean into
Yeah,
Sprite.
yeah.
And
It
there
was
was
the
so
dopest
many
scene,
people
dude.
that we pitched it to, and they were
Yeah.
like, okay, what is he doing? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you clearly don't know what's going on in the culture right now.
I remember,
You know what I mean?
remember those set days and everything. I remember that shot. I love it, man.
Yeah, so just cinematically, it was gorgeous. But like
Yeah.
you said, we were able to learn from Shootouts, and we was able to apply that to The Private Eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it.
And something you said too, which I've been getting really into, is it's really not about and I think you can only get here if you really get crazy into the cinematics and the wardrobe and like really the psychology behind every piece of artwork that gets into the movie. Like as a director, I don't have to be a master craftsman at all those, but I gotta know how to communicate the vision,
Yeah.
and so I gotta know enough lingo or how to explain myself. So just the fact of all this, preparation. I really forgot what I was about to say. Sorry, we got to delete that part.
No, well, I
forgot what I was about to say.
think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah,
Just the fact of the preparation and all that is
Yeah.
pretty important. We even talked about it going through the script, because
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of lingo that you didn't really catch, and I'm like,
Oh,
nah,
yeah.
like what they're saying is this. You
Oh,
know
the
what I
little
mean? 'Cause
thing.
it's-
Oh, it's all about the story. That's what
Yeah.
I was sorry. That's what I was getting about. Is that it's not about like I think you have to get through being understanding it all to get to the point to where it's. It's not about that at all. It's all about what you're talking about in the movie and like the characters in it. Like this is everything. What's on paper is nothing. Like one thing I tell every actor I work with that doesn't already know how to do it is, the lines don't mean anything. Right now, I'm not thinking of the words I'm telling you. The words do not mean anything. It's all about the subject that's in my head, and you just spit out the words, And that's but you really captured that with Shootouts, and I think that's something very important as us as filmmakers, because us as filmmakers, we do have to wear a lot of hats when you don't have a lot of money. And I think if you even have the money, I think you need to be really involved to really get what you want, to get the style. Don't trust nobody.
DTA. And pivoting on back to The Private Eye, and,
Yes.
you mentioned the story.
Hey, let's talk about
I
Private Eye.
thought that this story was compelling for a couple of different reasons. Now, I told you a couple of times that since we've made this film and it's been cut and we've got a colored sound, everything's in the can, right? and I'm turning on Netflix and I'm watching something and it's just so underwhelming that I just had to cut it off and
Yeah.
put the private eye on.
Yeah.
Like that's how entertaining
I've
it
done
is
it
for me.
many times, and that's really important for me too,
Like,
because
I feel
I made
like-
it for we made it for ourselves.
Yeah, like we really did. Like just make projects for yourselves because I don't think it would behoove you to try to do something that's Oscar baiting just for some accolades when it's not true. Like people can really sense that. You know what I mean? And with the private
Well
eye,
said, Hope.
with the private eye, we was able to find a new way to tell maybe an older story. Like maybe they say nothing under the sun is new. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
maybe this is a story that people have seen before, but we was able to revamp it and put our stamp on it.
Yep,
You
yep.
know what I mean? So with that said, with the writing process and even watching it back,
Yeah.
this is something that we intentionally wrote for you to have to watch a second time.
100%.
And I feel like that's something that we have to harp on. Just like we can't harp on that enough.
Yeah.
If you blink, you're gonna miss something. This is a mystery film, okay?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a whodunit, where it's like what's the one that came, the last whodunit, the Glass Onion. Like it's not one of those
yeah,
mysteries,
yeah.
but it's still one of the mysteries to where you have to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
so many
yeah.
idiosyncrasies and just it can be a mundane scene, but there's something that we're showing you in that frame that's
Little
very,
Easter
very
eggs.
pivotal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they say, as a writer, the first 2 to 5 minutes, you're supposed to tell the audience essentially what the movie's about. You know what I mean? Because our audience isn't slow, they're not dumb.
Yeah.
But we're not telling you what's about. There's clues.
I actually think it's hidden. Yeah, exactly.
It's
Like
hidden
it's
clues.
there. It's there.
It's there.
but
First
it's-
2 minutes,
Yeah.
if you really pay attention, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
But
You won't know.
So many people
Nah,
still
yeah.
haven't caught it. Just
No,
the people that we've showed so far.
I've screened it many times before the final cut, and there was only one person, and it was pretty amazing. Out of hundreds, there was only one person.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, you're good, because I think it's very important. You know what I learned about a mystery movie? I learned many things about a mystery movie, which I love. I think movies have all genres, a lot of great ones. But what I learned about a mystery is it's good to leave clues. Like a lot of people, they try to get too mysterious, and then there's nothing to show after, and they're afraid to reveal the thing, right? But nobody knows what you're thinking, and it's good to keep the audience guessing. And I think it's good that some people get it, because it gives you like a succeed. Like that's who they are. They were looking for it
wanna
hard
get
as
it.
fuck. You want to, and like they were right. And even people who aren't right will probably say, "Oh, I was right."
That's the whole.
I gotta watch this
entertainment and
again.
Fun of watching
Yeah.
it is, am I gonna guess it or am I not? Most of these TV shows that are coming out right now, I'm predicting it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
this is gonna happen. This is gonna.
That's
happen,
why we
this is
turn it
gonna
off in the
happen.
first minute. They're all short films.
They're
like
so predictable nowadays. So with this one, we wanted to really, really make it kind of unpredictable, and just give you clues that like make you want to pay attention to it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that was the really good thing about making a mystery and then throwing some romance
was,
in there with a
that was-
situational comedy.
Yeah. The mystery was, it was like the theme to my directing. I remember that was the thing I always fell back on, because like every scene's different and you're trying to create a situation, but let either the actor or you're the actor, you guys make it up, because if I tell you to do something, it'll be fake. So you got to make the decision. And but the thing I always fell back on was the mystery, and I was very cool directing, because somebody knows what's going on, but somebody doesn't.
I'm not gonna lie, even when we were shooting this, because people might not know who aren't filmmakers, but you don't shoot this. Like it's shot all out of sequence, you know what I mean? Like day one, we're not shooting the first thing on the first page, the first
You wish
1
you
to 5
could, but
pages.
if you don't got the biggest budget in the world, you ain't doing
so
that.
We're still indie, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
We're not making the roller coaster films that Martin Scorsese was talking about.
No,
we're
that's a
doing
fact.
what he wants, which is keeping this indie
So let's
film
tell the
thing
world
alive.
what what
This
Hope
thing
is
of
talking
ours.
about. So like Martin Scorsese lately, over the summer of 2023, was talking about how roller coaster movies. He's probably marketing for his movie, but he's talking about roller coaster movies, how they ruin the cinema, and how it's very all the movies are the fucking same. I think that's like the point of it. And then the other point was about young directors and young filmmakers fighting back to the studio so they don't own you for X amount, and you don't have to pay your people low, and you can really just be an independent artist, and that's why people fall in love with you. And those letters, and right when we read that, Hope and I, we talk on the phone, and we're like, hey,
you see that shit?
Yeah,
let's talk that shit, Marty.
Yeah. We say that, and hey, I want Martin Scorsese to watch this movie. I think
facts.
Martin, you're gonna love The Private Eye.
Facts. That's no cap.
Watch it. I'll send it to you.
That's no cap.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, going back into The Private Eye, all things The Private Eye.
Yep.
I want to talk to you about this collaboration process between me and you, especially with the casting, right?
Yep.
So we didn't have David Duchovny as an option because we wanted to go in a new direction and target a younger audience, because that is who are going to the
That
theaters
was one,
now.
but also like it really was because we had to, and we had to be fluid like water.
Yeah,
like,
you always got to be fluid. You can't
if
just
you go to
stick
that first decision, you'll not get there sometimes. You need to go with the flow and actually to get there. We did. The younger audience is better, and it's working horizontal. Hope, like we were forced to do that, and I'm so glad.
It was perfect because I'll never forget. You was like, "Hey, I think I got on Mort Madison."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Who?" And like, this guy named Matt Rife. And I was like,
Who's,
all right.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know who Matt Rife was.
Who's Matt Rife?
Yeah,
and he, you're breaking him down to me. He's like, he's a comedian.
He was
You know what I
perfect
mean?
for
Like, don't get scared, because I know how you react to comedians. But trust me, he can do it. So I'm like, all right, let's meet for lunch.
Yeah.
So we meet Studio City, Aroma. That's the spot.
Yeah.
That's the spot right there, Aroma.
Yeah.
We meet there, and I'm not even really looking at him the whole time as Mort Madison. I'm just there trying to see if he's a good person, see if this is somebody who we can work with, and that's going to be a complete diva. And where's my caramel frap? Where's my Caesar salad?
Hey, you and I have been through that too.
Yeah, we've been through that with people. So I was like, yo, we're going to be on maybe a 15 to 20-day shoot. We got to love everybody that's going to be in our circumference.
Yep.
And, Matt passed the test. He was cool as hell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's a phenomenal actor, and he's a great person, amazing person. And I want to tell Matt's story with Doc. The first time, so Matt's on getting on the project, and he, just like he's a young filmmaker too, just like us, and he did when you're a young filmmaker, you got to do anything to make the movie. If you really want to make a movie, it can't be, oh, I do this, you do that. It's like, hey, how can I help?
Anything.
And Matt was, he brought in some casting, he brought in some story ideas that were really great. But I told him one time, I was talking to you about investing, and I was like, I want you to meet the lead actor that I want to cast. And we're in Beverly Hills. This is the funniest thing in the world. I hope you don't mind me saying this. But I was like, all right, Matt, you're going to meet Doc. So, I'm going to ask him to invest in the movie, and, I want you two to know each other. And right when I'm explaining Doc to him, Doc walks up and literally pulls out $10,000 from his pocket and threw it on the table. And I'm looking around. We're in public. I'm like, holy shit, Doc. Like in my head, I'm like, Doc, put that shit away. What the fuck? Yeah, but I guess it's Beverly Hills. We couldn't do that anywhere else in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. So
well,
we're
good. Okay. Well, there you go. But that was funny though with the money. Have you had anybody throw $10,000?
Yeah, man. Hey, man. As an executive producer, man. That's going in style right there.
Oh man,
fuck a check,
we
man.
got
Here you
style.
go. Here's the cash.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
You're making me blush.
But yeah, man. Going back to Matt, it was a great choice. To not only is this our debut feature film together, but this is also Matt's debut as a leading star.
Yeah.
So the synergy was there. And
he really went all the way. That's somebody who goes all the way too. He was just like KJ Smith. I've said that before. They have great work ethic. They work out all the time.
I think and we had this conversation. I wasn't that into stand-up. Like, I wasn't a big fan. Yeah, I've seen Dave Chappelle's and the Eddie Murphys and the greats, but I haven't really been tapped into it like that. you know, so my first stand-up show was Matt's, and I
Yeah,
was like, oh
yeah.
damn, he's actually funny.
Yeah.
And you know, he was able to incorporate that into this film. There were
Oh,
so
yeah.
many different moments where, you know, when he's on stage, he has this amazing crowd control where he can be doing his bit, but then somebody will heckle him or somebody will just shout something into the crowd, and now that's a part of his show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just that improv game in him.
He's a
He was able
genius.
to
He's a
bring that
genius.
to
That's
this.
what he does best, and he does that in The Private Eye. And this is just the beginning for Matt Rife. Matt Rife is, you know, he's the one and only Matt Rife, but he's the new Brad Pitt, man. And
Yeah.
he's something brand new. I think he's like Brad Pitt mixed with like Adam Sandler. Like, that's Matt Rife right there. But
Yeah.
dude, he's gonna kill the movie game. And people are, you know, if you're trying to sleep on him, Hollywood,
Don't sleep.
you're gonna lose, man. It ain't gonna work. There was a meme that came out a while ago about Matt. I'll never forget it. This is like years ago, but it was they partnered Ariana Grande and Matt Rife to play the Hercules movie.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I was
I
like, that'd be
remember.
so great. But I think they're making a Hercules movie, but I think they're doing it serious. You know, like no
Yeah.
comedy in it.
Like 300 or something
Yeah,
like that.
but it's like Disney's Hercules.
see, I see.
So it's still a kids movie. But I was like, that would be a perfect matchup. They put the cartoons of the
Yeah,
Hercules and
that's
Ariana
actually good
Grande.
casting.
Yeah, they looked. I was like,
That's
oh, that's
fire.
hilarious.
But yeah, speaking of actors, man, there was some other amazing moments.
Oh my God!
that we
Here,
had.
let me tell you. Hey, let me bring up a moment you could talk about.
Okay.
But I will never forget the moment when Denzel Whitaker
That's what I was about to
walked
get into.
on set
That's what I was
in
about
that
to get
scene
into.
with Matt. Man, that
Oh,
was
man.
that dude Denzel when he walks on a set.
Thespian.
Man, yeah, and everybody gets. There's a new tone on set when Denzel Whitaker
Now
walks on
he
set.
came week
He's a
2,
genius,
right?
too.
He came like week 2, or was it week
He
3?
came. He was a huge role. He was a
Because we were filming for some days, and
yeah,
then
he came for. I think he was in week 2, maybe 3,
Yeah.
and 4.
I think we filmed for a week, and then we changed locations week
Yeah.
2 at Film Studio LA in Pico Rivera, right?
Yep.
And Denzel,
Oh, that's right.
he
Okay,
pulls
yeah,
up
yeah.
in his foreign, right?
Yeah.
All right, you flexing. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then he just enters set, and even the crew was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh
Like,
yeah. Everybody's
the whole vibe
they
and
started
energy
standing up
changed.
straight.
People were like, "Hope, how the fuck, yo, check, how did y'all get Denzel?"
Oh, man.
Like, and I know he's talented, but I wasn't aware that the people were gonna be making such a big conundrum over him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he really changed the morale. With the crew, because you know how it is with the crew. They're doing so much
And the
work,
cast.
and and the cast. Like it's and now we're in week 2. We're trying to keep the momentum, and then what do? We gift them with more talent.
Yeah.
That they can work with.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And he was really able to bring that for
He
Matt.
brought it.
For Matt to really just work with. You
Oh,
know what I
that's
mean?
one of my dude.
He's
That's
the
the thing
supporting.
about a great actor, okay? Especially like for the lead. What really inspires the lead is if you get these supporting actors that are just like fire because that they're like, damn, I gotta outact you. Like,
Yes.
if you have one bad actor in your movie, man, like that actor will make this bad actor maybe bad. It's very hard for
Yeah.
an actor to relate to another.
It's kind
actor.
of like what was that?
And I don't
joint?
mean bad. I just mean actors that overact.
What was it? Gangs of New York.
Yep.
Um,
We start calling out people now.
Let's go, Gangs of New York. She
Sorry.
kept dropping her accent. Who
Yeah,
was
Leo
it?
too. Don't get it. Was Cameron Diaz and
Cameron
Leo.
Diaz. We
All right,
love-
guys.
We love some Cameron Diaz.
And I
but
love Cameron Diaz. and I
that's
love
just an
Leonardo
example,
DiCaprio.
okay?
But here's
when
the thing.
said
You know
that-
who didn't break though? You know who didn't break in that movie?
yeah,
Daniel
the
Day
Butcher.
Lewis.
One of
He
the
got
goats,
it. Daniel,
and the
you're the
Butcher.
goat. No, he's the goat, man. He's the goat actor. For
But I
real,
just
dude.
that literally when you said
No,
that,
I
was
know.
like,
I
Cameron
know.
Diaz.
Well, dude, that's Tom Hardy's very similar. I love Tom Hardy as an actor and everything, but he literally drops his accent in every single fucking movie. So it's just like if he would just get the accent down, or just no offense, Tom, but like if you get the accent down, man, you'd be a new type of beast.
He kind of did in the show Taboo. I don't know why they didn't.
I haven't
bring it
seen
back.
that yet. Well, but it wasn't he speaking. He's British. He's
but
he doesn't have an accent for
That's
that.
why.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when
no.
he stays in his
yeah,
lane,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
Oh, it's
No, that's what I'm
phenomenal.
saying too. Yeah. Oh, he's the best of the best. He's like freaking Marlon Brando.
But,
he's a real man's actor.
Yeah, but going back to Denzel, bringing him
Oh,
on.
Denzel, man.
There was some real
Talent.
competition. It was like healthy competition.
Oh, that's what you
like
need.
Matt was like,
hey,
raise
Matt,
everybody's game.
Matt
Hey,
was looking
you-
like, oh wait,
Hey.
this is what y'all want to do? Y'all want to bring him to me?
Yep.
Okay, let's do
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
All right, now we're really cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the vibe that I was getting.
Oh,
and
Matt had a lot of because like that's the thing. We worked horizontal, so and we were forced to
Yeah.
because like your lead actor, you need now the way that Hope and I do it is we have minimum 15 days of rehearsal and before we get on set.
Minimum.
Minimum. The more the better, and you better be reading before that. And for Private Eye, technically, we had 3 weeks of like hardcore rehearsal, and then a week of like readings, and then a few months of prep for the actors, etc. But once we were on set, that's very important to rehearsal because now everybody's bringing their own character and really they're really able to bring their all and their A game. But something that is we had to do, what we were forced to do, is we couldn't spend a lot of money on the lead guy because we need him for like 40 days. And but we tried to get the best actors and like famous as we can actors in the supporting roles because we only need them for like 1 to 5 days. And then they really bring it
Logical.
logical with that, and we were forced to do that, and I'm really glad we were because now we understand what the greats understand. There's certain things that I understand now that I would not understand, and I'm even in a better place than where I thought I was going to be 10 years ago in my mind. Of course I've always wanted things faster, but I'm really happy where I'm at. Realistically and everything. So we got all these supporting actors that were real great and real popular and really known for their own things, like Eric Roberts, Eric Griffin, Claire Grant, Lexi Pantera,
Reeves,
Jay
Elijah
Reeves.
Booth.
I mean, we could name all people, Josiah
Jack
Jack,
McKissick.
Elliot's another person who had a lot of days, and so Elliot and Matt were like the people who nobody really knew them, and but they were the best actors for those roles, and they so like that's the way it worked out. But now when somebody asks me who's in it, I just say one name, and they know who that is. Yeah. You don't have to question. But the whole point of the story is we brought like Matt. We weren't thinking like that back in the day. Matt was just the best at what he did, and he was faced to act with all these greats, and there's the whole saying. If you go run a mile with people who are slower than you, you won't get better. But if you run miles with everybody who's faster than you, you might not beat them, but your time's going to be faster.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
You
And
always
that's
want to be the sharpest in the room. You got to be able to learn, and there's always room for just room to grow and for improvement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's why I fuck with you so much because I thought I knew so much about filmmaking, and then I met you. And you're teaching me about Rembrandt lighting. You know what I mean? You're teaching me about so much more than just like shots and angles. You can go on YouTube, but it's a real psychology behind this shit. So you always want to be around somebody who can just teach you more. You know what I mean? Don't always think that you know everything. When you see me, I'm quiet like 9 times out of 10 because I'm soaking up the game.
Yep, really learn how to listen. If you really learn how to listen, it'll take you. You'll be running laps around people.
Like they say, the game is to be sold, not told. But man, we're in an era where there's free game 100% of the day. People are just giving out free game all the time. It's just, are you paying attention? Are you listening? Or are you just doom scrolling?
No, and that's everybody. A lot of people that I work with, especially investors-wise, like it's really only investors-wise. Besides you were in the game, but a lot of investors I work with, they're not in the movie business at all. But what I do is I make business make sense. All businesses are the same, and there's multiple types of business. But say, for example, one is a service industry. That's like the security company. I provide security guards, right? But the movie business is different. The movie business is like a product. Like it's like a phone. You know what I mean? So what do you got to do to get your phone company popping? All right, you got to make a really awesome product. which is a movie that we really make an awesome product. And then how do you get it sold? Well, you make really awesome marketing choices, and you have a place where people can go buy it. For us as a movies, that's marketing is very similar, and marketing you just got to get involved, and then where are they going to watch it? Movie theaters or streaming or whatever. But it's all the business is you explain it like that, and it really makes sense. And you know there is risk, but there's risk in everything. You know, like you want a restaurant. Yeah, you want a restaurant. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you think your restaurant's gonna make it if you don't care?
That's one of the
good
top
luck,
5
man.
felon
You know?
businesses.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lettuce Feast.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
That's right.
But anyways, yeah, man, The Private Eye it was a lot of fun making. And I really can't wait for people to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really care.
Come out to the theaters, baby.
Yeah, I don't really care to hear if people, you know, if you enjoyed it or you hated it, that's cool.
Yeah,
but
it's
I
your
just
own
want
opinion.
you to watch it because
Yeah.
this is indie filmmaking at its finest. This isn't
100%.
cookie-cutter. This isn't crazy CG.
Nope.
This isn't like superheroes. This is like we're taking it back to like filmmaking and
Yeah.
storytelling
Yeah.
101.
Yeah.
You know, with great characters.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Great lighting, cinematic, great shots. You
And a
know what I
great
mean?
story.
Like the dialogue is rich. Like this is for film buffs, okay?
100%
I will say it.
for film
If you
buffs.
love Matt, cool. You can come see it to watch his pretty face on the screen.
Yep.
But this is for
He
film
shows a
buffs.
six-pack, but the movie's made for film buffs.
Like people who are going to see Killers of the Flower Moon, that is for film buffs.
Yeah.
Okay, regular people. My mom is not going to see that. Okay.
Thomas Anderson.
All of these films, these Wes Andersons, all
Wes
of
Anderson.
these,
Oh shit!
those
Cut that one
are
out.
for
Good.
film buffs. And
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is what we
No,
did,
Wes
man.
Anderson, Killers of the Flower Moon, and we accomplished it, and I feel very fortunate and very lucky. you
Yeah,
know.
man. And one last thing, you know, I kind of want to bring up
Tell me.
before we shoot on up out of here is
Well, yeah,
we got time.
100%.
Got time
I was
today.
just gonna- yeah.
Is a soda squeeze, man.
Yeah, no, soda squeeze.
Can we get it? Just
I don't
a
even
little
want to
bit?
talk about it right now.
Okay.
The only thing I'll say is the soda squeeze is going to be my next baby. But something I learned about films, I do like having it prepped because it takes years. But right now, I feel like I'm 100% in something. And I know in 3 weeks I'm going to do, and I'm just having a conversation with Hope at this point, but I'd say about a month, I'm going to have enough time. There's going to be a gap on Thanksgiving where I'm going to pull a Private Eye where I just spend like 4 days to finish the final draft. And, you know, we could touch it up a little, but I'm going to lock it in like 4 days in the end of November. And then we can talk about it a lot, but we will be filming that in Kentucky, and I can't wait for it.
I just want to go on record to say that it's going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
It is going to be our first horror film together.
Yes.
And we're really coming to scare people.
Oh,
I'm
man.
talking like movie monster.
Halloween's my favorite.
This is going to be a costume
Yeah,
for you.
This one's
okay?
going to be a classic. Well, that's something that we do hope is we make classics, and we leave a piece of our soul with the art that we make. And Private Eye has a piece of my soul, and a Soda Squeeze has. I mean, I've been working on that. You know, you always try to finish it in a year or two, but man,
Yeah.
I've been working on that shit for like 7 years too. So
Yeah.
it's just
Somebody
God,
says something
I'm
slick.
glad,
Somebody
you know?
says something slick to you, didn't they? They say, "Oh, well, I hope the next one doesn't take so long."
Oh yeah. Well, and then
Like,
and
what?
that, you know, that's the thing is like a lot of people say that. Everybody says that, and what I've learned from it, because I used to want to not take that long.
When you're an
you know what I
actor,
mean?
of course, you
Well,
want
not,
something
not
for
an
your real.
actor,
You
but
want to
also
see it.
like just being anybody. You know, you want you want the easy route. But what I learned is it's all about the journey. The ending point, you get that Oscar. It's not as sweet as sweet as it feels. I don't know that because I don't have an Oscar. But a lot of times I get there, it's never as sweet as it is. Okay.
Yeah.
But the things that you remember is if you really went through it, you will cherish that journey so hard because
Facts.
like right now, you have interviews, I could tell you hours because this shit took me years and you and I had to put our brains together and we all had to put our brains together and we just didn't give up and now we're here and we're going to have like 6 months of parties. We're going to make a shit ton of money and at least for the next 2 years, but after the parties and everything, we're going to be like, "Oh, here goes Soda Squeeze."
Soda
You know?
Squeeze. Like, let's pull the whole slate up, man. Like, let's really
I'm
about
ready for the film
brainstorming.
fund too. You know, hey, studios better watch out. But we're gonna Martin Scorsese this shit. Help us out, Martin, before we sell out. I don't want to sell out. All right, right. No, thank you, Hope. Dude.
Yes, thanks,
I'm glad we
Jack,
got to
man.
talk about it, man. Hey, we're
Yeah,
gonna be
man.
doing this a lot.
Yes, man. From director to producer to executive
Guys,
producer, man.
I
All
learned a
things
lot.
private
I
eye.
learned a lot.
Yes. Yes.
February 2024.